There are temporal events or phenomena in this world, which is a point beyond dispute. There are temporary occurrences. Now, it is impossible that one set of temporal events be caused by another and that series go on forever. If there was no one who was always present to cause the first created being, then one is saying that the first being simply burst itself into existence like magic. Now, no person of intellect can hold this as a belief. And if this had been possible, the idea of God would not have been considered essential into the theories of the philosophers, and neither would they have introduced into their theories the concept of a necessary being, which is a beginningless being who always existed. And they discuss this in detail. This is a being by which all things exist because of him. Therefore, if there is a limit at which this series of temporal events or phenomena stops, this is what is called the eternal. If one postulates and imagines that there is no eternal, infinite being and maintains the regress backwards of dependent beings, then as long as each being is dependent, the first being could never be reached because it is dependent. So it's in effect relying on the causal ability of another to exist. You know, the problem with infinite regress is that creation would never have come to exist. Let's consider the following example. If I could not raise my hand, for example, unless I sought permission from the person seated next to me, and the person next to me could not raise their hands unless they sought permission from the person seated next to them. And likewise, they couldn't raise their hands unless they sought permission from the person seated next to them. If this went on forever, and it just kept going, nobody would ever raise their hand. So in a similar way, if there was not a first independent being who exists by virtue of his self, then no one would have ever come to exist. Therefore, we can say that there does exist an independent, infinite divine being who exists by virtue of his own nature and essence, and not due to the causal ability of others. This position is inescapable.